So we're all ready to go here with that. We're already live, but we're waiting for Mama T to show up. She's there to use her phone, but she's been having some data issues, of course. So I mean,
if I have to, I might have to leave a split second.
That's fine. That's fine. Fine.
I'm trying to find something. I can't. Oh, there you are.
Well, here I am. All right. So let's see. So I'll share the link with you here so you can share it around with everybody.
I'll do this one.
And then we'll just get going here.
Oh, Dean, yeah, just send it to Dean. I don't know. I haven't talked to Dean.
Well, he can just click on the link
Right.
in the page, in the main page, and do it like he did
Yeah,
before.
that's what I'm saying. You should try my brother for the hell of it, because I don't know why. I don't know. I mean,
I can.
He heard, he has good news about that wet wrestling thing, but
Yeah.
obviously, I don't know. We can't.
Well, if we can get him on after, like if he wants to be part of the crew and everything, like for our panel for today, if we can get him on, that's fine. I can probably do that here. Because we're waiting for Mama T here, so we're telling you. But let's see here. I'll just send it to him. Just kind of go through. What's going on, everybody? If you're tuned in here, welcome to Renegade Radio. We're just getting things warmed up like normal. It's a normal tradition. I know it probably looks bad on our part where we're getting all ready, but you know what? It is what it is. We're after last week's show. I'm very happy that my panel still wants to do a show with me after last week. Honestly.
It was a good show last week. It was a little bit long. That's all.
Well, I wasn't prepared for that, and I know you weren't prepared for that, and nobody was prepared for that. But it was kind of cool when you think about it, because not only did we have Lance Warlock come on, who we're known for all the things that he's done, but Michael Strider is a legendary photographer. Like, he's really been in the business for a very long time, and I've known that guy almost the same amount of time. I met majority of these people through Facebook, or not Facebook, but through MySpace back in the day.
Really?
Yeah. That's crazy. That's how it kind of originally started for me, at least, doing early interviews and stuff. That's all through MySpace. So weird.
Next week we're going to have a friend of mine from Pittsburgh, Wolfie Comedy. He's really funny and good dude. And I mean, he has some news he wants to share, I guess. And, go from there for next week.
Sure. Well, whatever. That's fine with me. I mean, like I say, I don't want to be the one that's always like, I feel like, like, I don't know how everybody feels like the audience. Maybe the audience loves it or whatever, probably, but I just don't want to make it seem like I'm just trying to hog the spotlight on myself.
No, don't ever think that was me.
Well, things happen sometimes.
We should try to get Ron Jeremy on. That'd be a real treat.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
A view from jail.
He'd want to talk to you, probably. You wouldn't know who the fuck I was, But we would definitely get views, that's for sure. It would definitely be, but I don't think they allow that over there.
They're like, holy shit, Renegade Radio got Ron Jeremy on. It's unbelievable.
Yeah, how the hell? Who's tampon strings and you have to pull to get that?
Yeah. I do know a lot of people, but not that many people.
Well, I appreciate the fact that you're cool about everything, because you're my co-host, and I can't do the show without you. I mean, I can, but I don't
There's
want.
only one request I have. Not that I'm jealous or anything, but I think a picture of my bar needs to go up there too.
Well, absolutely. Whatever.
I'm just kidding.
You made a picture of your bar. Well, you have all that stuff on your computer. You can advertise yourself if you want. Go right ahead. I put this up as just a default because nobody wants to see my background. I mean, I got posters up and whatever, but I like this background better.
Yeah.
Well, there she is.
Well, I can't change my background though.
You mean your criminal background?
Yeah. What's a felon? Always a felon.
That's right. Jimmy Fallon is always going to be a Fallon every time.
Jimmy Fallon, Johnny Fallon, Sammy Fallon.
Yeah, that's right. Well, what's going on there, Mama T? I see you. You're on here.
Somebody parked in my spot. I was supposed to get like access here, real good access here to this Wi-Fi that I'm borrowing tonight, but there's some cars parked here. I might have better access later, but you know, my relief didn't show up for the bar until like 10 after, well, 20 minutes after I said, please be here at this time so that I can go get set up. And, you know how
Technology?
No, that's not the word either, is it?
Okay.
I'm here. Hey, I made it.
Oh, that's great. That's hey, I'm happy. You know,
I'm
I'm
still
glad.
working on it.
Yeah, it's all right. It's all good. After last week's episode,
Instead of sitting in my car right now. So
after last week's episode, I'm grateful that you're even willing to continue to do the show with me because I know it got long and everything, and but some people probably enjoyed that. I'm sure a lot of people did. You know, it's just for us.
I'm just saying. I had to tell. I just was saying I locked my wife in the bedroom while I'm doing this, and
literally locked her in there.
She was starting to kick and everything. Then I heard all kind of noise.
Sam, if you've got good handcuffs, you don't have to lock the door.
And whipped cream and everything like that, you know, or whatever, I guess. Anyway, so well, I appreciate the patience from last week. Sometimes that may happen. I mean, even when you guys did guests or whatever, they might go long. I said the longest I want to do the show is maybe 2 hours at the most, but I mean, if we get a really good guest and they really like to talk.
I understand, yeah.
But there is a time limit too. I mean, with everything, because then it's like people get a little bored, like, oh, when's this going to end? Blah blah blah. I got shit to do.
Oh, that's
but it's like, and that's why we have the repeats and everything, and I put it on YouTube, so if you can't watch it live, you can watch the repeat, and the repeats doing pretty good, but it can always do better, And I do have some
lighting spot for this phone, man. Hey.
Yeah, I just remember it gets dark about 7 o'clock though, so. And when time change comes, it'll be even an hour sooner than that, right? or maybe an hour later. Is it an hour sooner? An hour later?
This is the last time we're doing the time change, right? You know that. This is the last. This is the last time they're going to do the time change.
Really?
Yeah. This time, then it goes back to regular, and if you look on your calendar on your phone. You don't see it no more after that. It's done. That's the law.
Like no central. What? Wait, what?
No, there will be central time and everything.
Fall back.
Yeah,
not
no
to
more
talk politics, but Donald Trump fixed that.
Oh God, thank God. Wait, he's not in office.
Probably when he was in office, so probably. Huh? Maybe.
What's that?
Oh, and one
probably
of those things that doesn't.
Probably when he was in office, but it took a little while to pass, or like you had to wait a certain amount of time or whatever for that.
Right.
That
so
happens.
it definitely passed because I looked on my phone and it shows the time changes a couple weeks, I think. And then you go in let's see, April, and they change March or April, they change it back. Then if you could continue through the years, you'll never see time change again. That's because a friend of mine was telling me, and I looked on my phone because I knew it was happening, but it's definitely going to happen. This is the last time the time change. It's going to go back, and then we'll do it forward, and then we're done.
So is that
which
something
I love?
Is that something we celebrate then? Have a pack.
We celebrate. Big show then, man.
Big show. Well, speaking of big show, we want to, okay. My idea as far as this show goes, as far as when we take our first actual break, because we do all deserve a break after being a part of this show for the last few episodes and everything, will be the first week of November. So we're gonna go all through until the end of October. I want to do a Halloween show with you guys. I want to see what creativity you guys come up with for Halloween.
Let me see. Yeah.
Well, you got me on Facebook, right?
Absolutely.
The whole
I did.
Wednesday Addams kind of.
Yeah. God,
I think I could pull it off.
I think you could too.
So okay, I got a tiny little rant here. So if you guys don't have kids, which I know you do, but
well, I don't.
I was visiting with my 19-year-old child yesterday, and she's like my 19-year-old child and my 15-year-old child, and my 19-year-old says, "Oh, well, I got a whole bunch of bags of clothes out here in the garage. We should go through them and see if you guys want any because they're just taking up space." half of them were mine. That's right here. This was
What
my
the
shirt.
hell?
And I like pointed at it and I was like, look, girl. She's like, oh, yeah, you can have that. Like,
Oh,
what do you mean
geez.
I can have that? It's mine. She's
That's
like,
funny.
oh, yeah, this is yours. Oh, yeah, this is yours too. Oh, that might be yours.
So she didn't look before she was supposed to look, just like, oh
No,
yeah,
no, no. She
you're
did.
in mom's clothes.
Like, instead of saying, this
You know?
back for your items that I stole from you, she introduced it as hey, let's go through some clothes and exchange them.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But you know what? I got this tank back and I'm very happy about that. You see what this is?
Oops.
Bobby's little Bobby's Independence Day.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah,
That
you're
too,
welcome.
Sam, but
I
Well,
got new
this-
glasses. I'm gonna see if you guys like them. Ready? These are my reading glasses.
awesome.
They look funny on me.
Well, we can see it. We can see the reflection too now.
Who is that? Who's that guy?
Yeah, I don't know.
You know, I've got a little bit too big
guy
for
than
reading.
the guy with the shades.
He looks a little scary
So
anyway.
I had my cigarettes in one of my pockets and I got like something else to drink.
Okay. Well, just make sure you have a steady.
For some reason,
Just make sure you have a steady connection though.
no
'cause-
place to park close enough.
Yeah, just make sure you have a steady
Is
connection.
more important than my cigarettes or the something for me to wet my mouth with.
Okay, well, just
I
so
got the
because
priorities, man.
your phone's kind of so late, a little late. I know you said you're just kind of a dumb phone. I get that, but I'm just letting you know that you kind of going in and out still.
Am I really?
Yes, you are. I don't know if Sam should see that, but I know I can.
Yeah. I can see it.
Oh, I hate
If
that.
we're gonna do the interview with Al here pretty soon, we want it to be as and you're professional. Don't get me wrong, you are amazing, and I will compliment you 1,000 times over. So don't take this as hostile environment bullshit or whatever. Sean being all, or Frankie being all weird or whatever. No, just try to find a better spot if you can. So
Frankie,
so that
if I was easily triggered, there's no way I could be on this show.
I know. I'm glad that you're not, because I'm not, again, I'm just trying to let people know so they know that I ain't being hostile. Yeah, I just want a good show
No, I
with
don't.
everybody.
Nope.
Obviously, we know that we can do a good show. Obviously, we all know that. That's already happened.
I
already.
want to be on this show and I want to be professional. Technology sucks. And
We are
so does my
professionals.
relationship with it.
Well, we're not asking you to have sex with technology. We're just
Yes, but
We are professionals. Remember that.
yes, oh yes, we are.
I'm good
Please
at a
show-
lot of things. Technology is not one of them. See, I was thinking I was just gonna sit on this bench out here or sit right here in my car, but as you can see, like all the good spots are taken.
Uh-huh. Well, I
Yeah,
mean,
so I'm way down there. You see the black car down there? That's me down
okay.
there. And if I go down there,
I thought
my
that Cadillac
car,
was yours. I was impressed.
yeah,
But
Sean's
yeah.
paying too much money.
Yeah, way too much money. Yeah, and I pay myself and all. Let's just give it all to you guys.
and see if I didn't watch so much porn, I would like have some more Wi-Fi left, some more data left. But I got my phone card and like.
Well,
just killed
like
it
I
all
say,
right
I'm
away.
just saying, if you can try to
Okay.
find a better
Watch.
spot,
But
if you
I got
can.
my addictions just like everybody else.
Okay, well, because I know there's a lot of lag now between you and I, so I'm
Hey,
just
Sean,
monitoring it myself. So
Remember the one interview you did
All
with,
of
you
a
did with
sudden, yeah,
me?
I'm hearing it too.
what now?
Remember the one interview you did with me with my old car and my motorcycle behind me?
Yeah, that's the interview from
Yeah,
from
I was
3
gonna
years ago.
I was gonna try to do that down the garage again so I can,
You should.
have a different scenery in the back of
Yeah.
me.
Well,
I
and
thought
that's
that'd
just the
be cool.
thing. We all like I'm a little limited on where I can do my stuff or whatever. As far as like my apartment for right now, I'm working on other things that maybe things might change eventually in time. But like, you have like outside, you have inside, you have a lot of different areas where you can do a lot of stuff. And yeah, and when we did that interview a few years ago in 2021, that was a nice spot. You were talking about how you thought, oh, I feel like I'm with Jay Leno, or whatever, you know, with my bike in the background and everything. I remember.
Yeah.
That was classic, you know. That's something that
I just think that's cool. I don't know.
Oh yeah, it is. It is. Or
But,
said our guest here.
One of our guests said, "What has 75 balls and screws old ladies?"
Oh, I have no idea. Oh,
Bingo.
geez. Bingo.
Here's my notes. I had notes. I had all kinds of questions. I had notes. Where are they?
They're in your coats. Your other daughter's stuck.
Hey, I'm actually in my car. You guys are getting me okay?
Yeah, you're fine. You're okay now. A lot better. Way better.
Let me go grab my cup.
Yeah.
And I will sit in my car then because I just found my cigarettes. That was my main issue.
Okay. No problem.
Here, let me find my joints.
As soon as hey, pack one for me.
Yeah.
No, as soon as these cars leave, there's no way town can be open this late. As soon as these cars leave, I'm gonna back up and have a better signal anyways.
Like
Next,
yeah.
I will have
Go ahead.
you know, for as many people as I tell, hey, this is what I'm doing every Monday night at this specific time so that they tune in, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
Why is it that they won't contact me all day long until this time, this specific time, and now my phone's blowing up?
I know what you mean. Sometimes that happens with me too. Like nobody calls me all day long, and all of a sudden I get a call from somebody like 5 minutes before showtime. And I tell them,
I just said what happened to me tonight.
Yeah, like you're like, yeah.
I had a guy
owns a bar. Keeps messaging me, and I was like telling her like for the last hour, hey honey, yeah, I got to charge my phone. I got to be ready for this show. I'm supposed to be trying to be professional, trying to learn how to do this stuff. You know, this is only my 3rd episode, and you know, I want to be professional. And now I see 4 messages from her.
Well, you're very popular. You know?
At 6 p.m. I told her I will be live at 6 p.m. and my phone's blowing up.
No. Well, anyway, that newsletter that you did last week was very good. You know, I wanted to share it as soon as possible. I mean, yeah, that was great. I mean, it was nice of you to talk, you know, about our show, you know, for just being on here for a couple episodes and already sharing your experiences. And obviously they're good experiences and people love the article. So you're definitely a good writer.
John.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Frankie.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said John.
Oh, this is a great. No, what?
Not good.
No, this is a great show, and I'm really like you shared that shit everywhere, and I was like, oh, I'm so honored to be featured in this news. Like, dude, I've never been on a podcast before. Obviously, if you've seen it, me on it. I've never been on a podcast before. I'm honored to be on the podcast. Like, for real.
It's a real feeling. I wouldn't lie to you. I mean, you know, you're a great talent, and you know, maybe we don't need any more extra people. You know, maybe later. I mean, I'm just trying to cover all bases, that just in case if you know somebody can't make it or whatever, so we just have somebody. You know, so if we don't on those nights that we may not have a guest, especially, and we're just talking. You know, we want to keep the folks entertained because they are the ones that make us pretty much, you know. So
I see. How are you?
Yeah.
So, okay, Sam, you said all you know is porn stars and strippers, right?
Mostly, yeah.
Well, you know, you can still do that on here. They don't have to take their clothes off for a freaking interview, right?
Well, Sean wants to keep it kind of straight up right now, so we'll see how it works out.
Family friendly.
Yeah.
Well, family friendly with a twist, I guess we'll just say. You know, I'm not saying we're gonna play
played
Jesus.
One of my videos of me singing Wild Thing, and it came to these girls. They weren't naked because they were not to be naked, and here I am shut off because we're trying to keep his family entertainment.
Well, okay, but I mean, I'm just a lot was going on. I just didn't know if they're taking their clothes off or whatever. You know, I didn't know.
family's okay with the F word and 4-letter words once in a while. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's more about language more than just visuals, for me. It's like how far can we take it, language wise, Language is a fun thing, especially if you know it very
that was
well.
my subject. That was my best subject in school.
Yeah,
If you couldn't guess,
I should have took more care of it.
do things printed out in words rather than having my face out there and having to stumble through words I can't autocorrect. Autocorrect has been my friend lately, but
Yeah, no, I mean that's fine. But anyway, yeah, I mean it's just fun just to do to do stuff like this because we reach out to the people and it's like I've heard good things about how we're already doing good as a group and everything, so that's why I really feel happy that this works. Even without Waterboy, with Waterboy, whatever. I understand he's a busy guy, so he can't always make it on time, and that's okay. Like you were saying before, Sam.
no, it's okay for him to come in late, but
you're a main character. You're a main part of the panel. You're so supported as a co-host because you are co-host. I might be the host, but I'm not the host. I'm the co-host. We're all co-hosts. We're all shared, divided, like a piece of pie. Like a pie chart, kind of like. We're all kind of have our piece.
You can say that all you want, but you're the one that sends out the links to join the Zoom.
Well, okay. So. It's probably producer, director, creative control, whatever. I guess So anyway, what's been new with everybody? What's going on before our guests come? So we'll start with Sanford first. What's new with you?
Dude, there's nothing interesting in my life anymore. I mean, it's not that I have to work, but I've been working every day at this my buddy's gas station, and just I should be getting so much material from the people that come in the gas station. It's unbelievable. I mean, I should have a lot of material by the end of the week, but we'll work on that next week because there's a lot of goofies coming there, man.
Sure.
Sure. Yeah. But nothing really. I mean, other than me working, and next week I'll have it take it easy and I'll be able to sit back and relax, have fun. I'm gonna come up with some interesting stuff next week. I'm gonna try my ass off.
Well, good. We love to see an original Scream with Sam segment.
See, let me tell you something. I have to explain something to Mama T. Mama T, when I had my own show, I was like the big shot there, right? And I had my guests, and we had we had the radio show, the internet show, and that. But this is different for me because Sean is our boss, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, me too.
And yeah, I'd probably lose control if I took over the show. And we did that to Sean, me and Bill Kinnison. When Bill Kinnison and I was interviewed by Sean, we actually took over Sean's show because me and Bill does that. But yeah.
Yeah, you kind of did. I remember that. Yeah.
Well, I get that.
Well, that was the plan.
That's what Bobby tells me that like that first show, I was kind of nervous. So the whole time I don't know if you noticed, but I was drinking the whole time. I
definitely noticed that. Absolutely.
I gotta have my coffee.
Because I've got a little bit of social anxiety, to be honest, and that's what makes it hard working in the bar. I got to be on all the time, and for this, I'm just like, okay, the second show, I was like, okay, Bobby said, maybe take off the hat, maybe not drink so much.
Yeah.
All right, I'll try it. So the last show, I was like, yeah, all right, I'll take your suggestion. I mean, he's been on this kind of thing much longer than I have. I worked factory work and fast food for my whole life, and this is not something that I ever did. My high school and grade school, I was in front of people all the time. I had the same music teacher for 3 programs a year from the time I was in kindergarten until I was
after middle school, and they always gave me a solo, and they always put me in front of everybody, and I was just like, I don't know how I did it then, because I was a kid and I didn't give a shit, like when you're a kid, you don't care. And then I started worrying about what people thought of me and how people saw me, and I just couldn't do it anymore. I worried too much. So then, this started, and the thing with Bobby started, and I was nervous, and I had to drink before I sang, and then I didn't have to drink before I sang because I got my confidence up. So maybe, after a couple shows here, I might be able to do it.
Well, I mean, you had to be in your comfort zone. I understand, it's kind of a nervous thing because you don't know what type of audience you're going to have. You don't know who's going to watch and whatever. And especially when you're going live and stuff like that.
Hold on one second. I have to leave 1 second.
And, so I mean, it's totally understandable when it comes to this sort of thing, because I just got myself used to just being in front of the camera. And even when I was originally going to do the podcast by myself, I just thought, I don't want to do it by myself. I need a group of people that I can rely on. And at first it was just Sam, because Sam, I figured, well, maybe if he's free and he's got nothing going on, then maybe we can do something. But then, then we started doing stuff and it was fine. But then he was talking about other people that we were going to add to his show, that from his show originally. That was the original idea. And then when that wasn't going to work.
Take a break 1 second.
Okay.
I used to do this little bit. Okay, I'm sorry. Frankie, I used to do this little bit where I would talk to my friends about how when I was drunk, okay, I would be drunk and I would talk to my friends like, you know what? I love my sober self. My sober self is awesome. She always leaves me snacks. She always makes me food. She always leaves me lists of things I should pick up if I get any money when I'm drinking. And earlier today, I told you I did my homework, right? I did homework on Al, right? And at the very last minute, I come down here, right? And I can't find my cigarettes. I can't find my notes. I can't find nothing. Well, I literally just now looked in my pocket and found my notes.
Well, good.
My sober self is awesome.
And you know what? Al will be appreciative of that you took note, because I don't really have much to say much else to Al, because as you know, this weekend we worked. Well, this is something that we worked on for a while, and it finally happened. And it was earlier this summer. I was going through his website of the GOAT radio station, and I've known Al for a long time, so we know each other. Like we're best friends. And I hate to be a broken record like last week. I know I repeated myself a lot last week with saying all these nice people, but I wanted to give them their dues, because it's nice when you get a person to come on your show once, but then when they come back after a while, time moves on, you think they forgot about you and blah blah blah, and they didn't forget about you. And it's like, I love people like that. It goes to show that there's good people in this world. And Al is another one of those guys who is a good person. He's just as cool as Sam. He's just as cool as you, Tanya. I mean, and he has a voice. Everybody keeps saying, "Oh, Morgan Freeman is the voice that I should narrate things." He has that voice that everybody loves or whatever. Fuck that. Fuck Morgan Freeman. I'd rather listen to Al Neff and give me a GPS than have him be on my GPS, read a book to or whatever.
If I ever had somebody like do my life story. Oh, my notes almost flew out the window. There's only a couple of females that I could think possibly play me in a version of myself, in a movie version of myself.
Okay.
So one of my exes used to call me
I'm sorry, we have trouble.
Am I still lagging?
Yeah, Ken.
No, you're fine.
You're good.
Who was the gal that joins the army because her son is in the army?
Was that Goldie Hawn? maybe? Or no?
No, in the Army now. No, that is Goldie Hawn.
That's Paula Shore in the Army now.
So I'm thinking of, she shaves her head. Like,
Is it G.I. Jane? Is it?
yeah. Yes, there you go. There you go.
Okay. That's who is that now?
I know. I forget her name now.
Yeah, I don't. Debbie Moore, maybe?
Yes, there
Okay.
you go.
That's it.
Okay. Yeah. You always want more from Debbie.
At the beginning of the movie, she started out as a stripper and she was trying to make money to raise her kid. She was a single mom. And then she finds out that she can make more money to raise her kid. She can actually raise her kid right if she joins the Army. And she ends up proving herself by shaving her head. And yeah. Debbie Moore. Yeah.
Debbie Moore. Okay. Well, that's cool.
I would be okay with her playing me.
Oh, awesome. No, that's I mean, yeah. But with Al, you know, like I said, he has that voice, you know, and you'll hear it. You'll know what I'm talking about as soon as he gets on. It's amazing. Oh, you're okay.
Honey, I told you I did my homework.
I know, but I don't know what type of homework you did. So I mean, I don't know what you watched or whatever.
You know what I want to hear? I gotta hear the story on how Dick Hill got a lawnmower fly.
Okay. Okay.
Many of you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, but I have to hear this story.
Okay, he'll probably know what you're talking about. See, my relationship with Al is more like, you know, he did the Into the Music series, and both Bob and I went to KSRQ for college, you know, for broadcasting school. And Al, I'm sure Bob remembers Al. I don't know if he's ever met the guy or whatever, but Al is a music connoisseur, and he's somebody who, you know, is a pop culture guy, just like I am. And he, I mean, he's done radio, he's done the Into the Music series. He's pretty much responsible for the GOAT, you know, the radio station. He asked me to be on. Well, I invited myself. I asked him, I said, I listen to your station once in a while. Do you think I could be a guest DJ on your show? And it took a little while. I mean, he said yes originally, but then it's like other things came up. I was, going to go down there originally and whatever, but and do a live. But then it's just like we eventually a week or so before my birthday, then he asked if I could. He reinvited me to come on and see if we could do something, and it worked out. So it worked out very, very well. And this weekend he did 2 broadcasts of it. One on Saturday at noon to 2 on the GOAT, and then last night at 9 to 11. And I have the MP3 of the shows that I'm going to upload eventually and share it with everybody who
I gotta hear it.
listens.
I gotta hear it.
He basically told me to pick songs that represent myself.
I'm really flattered. Okay, so your background you got there. First of all, you guys are gonna have to teach me how to do that because
it's easy.
I've already made it very clear that I'm not technologically inclined at all. So it would be much better if I could change this to not the back seat of a car. But you added to your background a picture of me that I haven't seen in over a year.
It was on your profile. I just, I went on your profile and found a good pic that I thought would work.
I didn't even take that picture. Like, I saw it on there. I was like, oh yeah, I love that picture.
Does that make you feel comfortable that I was just going to your profile, like just like a stalker or whatever, and trying to find a picture of you? Oh, makes you feel all warm and fuzzy, It's like,
oh yeah, like when Bobby, I hadn't seen Bobby in like over a decade, and he gives me a big hug, and he's like, oh my God, you haven't aged in 20 years. I'm like, oh my God, that's right. You're the perfect amount of blind.
But remember, he's blind, so he can't really see you. So he's probably says that to everybody.
I was like, I forgot.
No, I'm just kidding. No, you obviously are a good looking woman and everything. He's lucky to have you. So it's I
You might be able, you might have to tell him that once in a while, but no, I think.
Oh, just remind him that he's lucky to have.
He's good at remembering that.
Hey, he's doing better than I am. I can't get no woman to be in my life.
I wouldn't be on this show if it wasn't for him remembering that, so.
That's right. That's right. You know, but he came to me and asked me, because I never even thought about that. I'm just like, you know, mate, if Bob trusts you and it says you're good at something, you know, I'm going to believe what he tells me. You know, I'm not gonna.
Oh, well, yeah, I just need to get out of my hair for a couple hours a day.
Yeah, I don't think that's what he was talking about. I don't think he was trying to be like me like that, but I think
it gives me a hard time because I'm able to take it. You know, he wants to give me a hard time. I'll take it.
Well, it's not too hard every time, right? You know what I tell you. So no, I'm just kidding.
As long as I can watch the next day, I don't care how hard it is.
Well, you know, I'm so desperate for a relationship, I might start a rented boyfriend service. So where I'm renting myself out, you know.
Boyfriend rental thing, the Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
Good.
Sean, don't rush it, Sean. Don't rush it, man.
I'm just saying. Okay, let me explain the background here for you.
Brother. I envy you.
You know, because it takes a lot of guts to do something like that. But I'll explain it more after we do our interview with Al, because I want to have that be like the last thing that we talk about before the show is over. But it looks like our guest is coming in here. He's all ready to go here. Remember, just listen to his voice and you'll fall in love. You know, I tell you. At least I do anyway. Shouldn't really say that in public, but it's true.
Hey, Sean, can you give me five minutes or so?
Oh yeah, if you want, that's fine.
I'm sorry because the furnace guy's here and he's got some bad news for me, so I have to.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll be about 5 minutes.
That's fine. We'll start the interview.
So you guys see me.
Perfect.
Come on, Sam, zoom in on it.
No. Okay. All right. We'll wait for you. But here's the man of the hour. Yeah. Well, it'll be fine. What's going on, Al? How's it going?
Just trying to keep up with all the balls in the air, you know. Today is John Lennon's birthday. Would have been his 83rd birthday, so I have some special programming coming up tonight.
Oh, okay.
You got me now, though.
Good. Well, we're honored to have you on Renegade Radio. For most people that probably don't know, that should know about Al NEFF. I mean, this past weekend, I was a guest on his Go Guest DJ show, which I listened to both broadcasts of it. Obviously, the same broadcast. It was the repeat, but you know, on Sunday. But I was happy that it worked out. That it sounded so good and everything. And I listened to the MP3 that you sent me today, and it sounded good too. So I'm just blown away by the fact that I finally got to do something that I've always wanted to do, and that was a radio show with you in any type of capacity. I know we've done interviews before like this and whatever, but like to do an actual professional level radio show with you is now something that I can kick off my bucket list at least. So, ladies and gentlemen, Al NEFF.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Screaming Sam. Are you actually going to scream on the show today?
What's that?
Are you actually going to scream on the show today?
Oh, we can. Ow! This is me.
Gotcha.
Hey, Al. This was me back in the day when I did Sam.
Ah, that really is you? Man, you're a dead ringer. Wow.
Well, I'm old, retired now, and you know, this is my look now. So
You're still.
I was
can't
on
do Sam forever.
Kinnison died. I remember tearing that story off the news wire, and I cried. I cried when Sam Kinnison died. I loved his comedy. I'm
good friends with his brother Bill. He's yeah, he's such a cool dude. He's going to be on our show probably in a couple of weeks. I'm hoping.
All right.
So
fantastic.
He's a very interesting guy. I mean, it's never a dull moment with him.
And then we have Mama T, who's rearranging herself or doing something anyway. She's always organizing something.
I'm seeing glare on my face and the light's coming from that way. So either I get a paper cut on my face or you can't see me. So, well, I guess I got a paper cut on my face. Hey,
And how long have you been living in your car?
what's that?
I said, how long have you been living in your car?
Oh, boy.
Okay, so long story short, I don't have Wi-Fi right now. I'm borrowing it from someone who advertises on the back of my newsletter.
Oh,
So I go down the street to borrow his Wi-Fi because right now at home I don't have Wi-Fi. So that's funny though. I actually
Meanwhile,
have.
she just wore her clothes off for kids and now she's living in her car. She drinks a lot. So I really feel bad for her today. We're going to try to help her out here.
It's a cast of characters there, Al. I warned you.
Oh my God. So Frankie told me that we were interviewing you tonight, and I was just like, okay, unlike when I was in high school, I'm gonna do my homework, because this is something I actually give a shit about. Okay, you have to tell me, how did Dick Hill get a lawnmower to fly?
oh, wow. Yeah, that's going back a ways. Well, he didn't actually fly a lawnmower, but there was a time when Dick Hill, who was one of my radio mentors, did you know Dick, by the way?
No.
Oh, okay. He was a professor at St. Cloud State University and also up at Rainy River College in International Falls. And he was a huge progenitor of KVSC radio here in St. Cloud, which is where my music career started. And I got to know Dick as a professor at first, and then as a colleague, and then as a friend. And so I went up to his cabin, and a friend and I painted his cabin. And we were talking for a neighbor.
Time?
Pardon me?
He was a faculty advisor at the time?
Yeah. And he was at one time the head of the mass communications department.
Okay.
So he was a big wheel at St. Cloud State for decades. I would say his career was probably 35 to 40 years. Yeah. So, he was a guy that I knew on that level. But then I got to know him a little bit more, as a friend, and we had some cocktails together, and I'm painting his cabin. I'm talking to the next door neighbor. Well, the next door neighbor let me know that one time Dick was mowing the lawn on a riding lawnmower, and the blade was, of course, spinning around, and it caught a clothesline. And this could have been actually quite tragic, but the blade is spinning and the clothesline is getting shorter, and the mower started to take off.
No way.
So Dick bailed, right? But I have this vision in my mind because Dick was sort of a cosmic traveler. And I have this vision of Dick Hill, taking off into space on a riding.
Like Grease at the end.
Yeah, exactly like Grease at the end. Yeah. Oh, that's funny. That's funny.
I was at Dick's cabin.
So, like I was telling Frankie, I in high school, I did not do my homework. I didn't give a shit about anything they told me to research. They didn't, high school's high school, Now that I'm adult, I'm thinking, you know what? I wish I would have learned a little bit from those classes because, this is actually like, if I knew how to research this shit, I actually want to know about things now.
Welcome to adulthood.
Yeah. Adulthood.
You know what? I did my free trial. I don't want the subscription.
Now you're talking in modern time now, I don't want to download this app yet, and whatever.
No, I don't want, my free subscription was enough, just
you want to pay for the full subscription?
Because I want to be a kid again.
Well, like,
so dig this.
There's so many other interesting things I saw about you.
Huh?
There was, for real, like Frank's. Okay, was it Don Opp that fixed your toilet?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Who fixed your toilet?
Who fixed my toilet? I don't remember. I don't know what research you were doing here.
Was that Don Opp or Jim McAllister?
Oh, okay. Well, Don Opp is my biological father.
Okay.
He never fixed my toilet.
Okay, you were doing a show. You were doing a show in 2018.
Okay.
And you were talking about someone who actually came in and fixed your toilet.
Oh,
Like
yeah.
he was all dressed up and he like changed,
Yeah.
he didn't
Okay.
change his clothes.
Okay, so
You know what
here's
I
the deal. You might not be able to see it obviously right now, but when I was 30 years younger, I looked very much like Frank Zappa. You know?
Okay,
can see
okay,
that.
that's where it was. Oh,
I
that's
can
the
see
part
that.
that's missing in the
Okay.
story.
So it
can see
was
that.
my landlord who was an insurance agent, and he was a very straight guy. Meanwhile, my roommate and I were, selling a little pot on the side. We were a certain kind of guy, and he was a very different kind of a guy. He was an insurance salesman. He owned the building that we lived in, but we had a party and the toilet backed up. So we had Mr. Green come in and fix our toilet. Well, we had a picture of Frank Zappa. It's a famous picture, and I could actually get you, if I ran into my bathroom right now, I could get you a picture of Frank Zappa on a toilet, looking menacingly at the camera and with his pants down. And this is a famous image in Frank Zappa, mythology. It's called Phi Krappa Zappa. Okay. And so I had friends in college who, one of them worked at a print shop, and it was like fraternity week, and they didn't like fraternities. So they made thousands of copies of this picture of Frank Zappa on the toilet, right? And they took LSD and they spread them all around St. Cloud State University, thousands of pictures of Frank Zappa on a toilet. And so my roommate and I, we grabbed one before the security people came along and took them all away. So we had this and we put it next to our toilet in our bathroom. So as you would sit on our toilet, there was Frank Zappa sitting on his toilet, looking at you as you were on our toilet. Okay. Backed up. And so Mr. Green came in and he fixed our toilet, and he looked at that picture and he laughed. And so my roommate and I thought that that was really crazy, that our landlord, who was an insurance agent and a really straight seeming kind of a guy, was a Frank Zappa fan. So when we moved out, we decided that we would give him a present. So we had that image of Frank Zappa on the toilet blown up, and we put it into like a scroll kind of a thing and tied it with a ribbon, and we both signed it, and we gave it to him as a present when we turned our keys in. And he, unrolled it, and he was completely baffled. And he's like, "Why are you giving this?" And we said, "Well, remember like last year when our toilet backed up and you came in and fixed our toilet, and that was in our bathroom. The picture was in our bathroom." He's like, "Oh yeah, I remember that." And we said,
You got to get the picture, dude.
Great that you were a Frank Zappa fan. And he was like, "Who's Frank Zappa?"
I got to see the picture.
Oh, that's
I got to see the picture. I'm sorry. I just got to see the picture.
you did. Some homework, Sam. For fuck's sake, I've seen the picture.
I have to see the picture.
Oh,
And Waterboy is joining us too, so.
Everybody
where's
enjoy this.
Waterboy? Is
And there he is.
There you go. That's yeah, it's looks like he's taking a dump, that's for sure.
That's Frank Zappa taking a dump, folks.
That was Frank Zappa, not me.
That's awesome.
Now you-
But I looked a lot like that.
You had a hair like that and everything?
Huh?
Your hair was like that and everything?
Yeah, oh yeah.
That's crazy.
When I was 25, I was a dead ringer for Frank Zappa.
I can see it, man. I can see it.
Okay, thanks. I get Frank Zappa and Weird Al Yankovic.
I get Sam Kinison and
I get
Meatloaf
another
back in the day.
I don't mean to take up all the freaking time here, but I got another question. How is it possible to get a black belt in rock trivia?
Well, I'm just saying, like, there's no official award, and I don't have a belt that signifies that. But I would dare.
Oh, okay.
But I would dare you to stump me. I'm not saying that I'm unstumpable, but I know a lot about.
He does.
Okay.
He does.
Who has the number 16?
I have a master's degree in popular culture, so I know all kinds of stuff like that.
All right. Oh, I got a stumper for you. Who has the
Okay.
number 16 album in Minnesota on Roots Music Report? Rock blues.
Rephrase the question, please.
This week on Roots Music Report,
Okay.
rock blues number 16.
And it's an artist from Minnesota?
Yes.
Now I have to qualify my statement here. My black belt is specifically mid 50s through say 1990 with a specialty in the 60s and 70s. So if it's anything
He
about
was around in the night.
Bob Dylan, I would have that out of the park. I'm not as familiar with contemporary music.
All right. Frankie, Sam, you got a guess?
I know who you're talking about, but You gotta realize Al, you know, I mean, Al's a professional, but he's not gonna know every little thing about. You just got to say it, you know.
Yeah, really, anything into the 2000s, I'm just another guy on the street. I might know it, I might not. But anything in the 50s, 60s, and 70s, that's where I excel.
I'm the same, because this same guy that I'm talking about actually got me on this show.
Oh,
yeah, it's not me.
He could maybe get you out of your car, and into an apartment. Wi-Fi, I don't know.
Maybe we'll
have some clout.
Pay the bill and we'll have our own Wi-Fi. And I won't have to go down the street for it.
Absolutely. What's going on, Waterboy? How's it going?
Waterboy, you on a toy?
So has he just joined us? This is the guy.
Oh, this is Waterboy.
Are you on a toy? Are you taking a shit, Waterboy?
Oh,
it looks like you're on a toy.
He just got in from work. He's
wow.
This is a guy from Sam's show that Sam did back in the day. That he did like one of the first internet TV shows back before podcasting was the thing. I mean, I'm serious. I mean, it's crazy how that works. But so this guy Dean here, what we call Waterboy, was like one of Sam's go-to guys from the show. So that's how he comes.
Them, yeah.
Did he appear naked during the show, Sam?
Not me. I don't have pants on, that's all.
Only a little bit. Right?
Well, we weren't expecting that, the Waterboy, so he kind of blew us all kind of out of the water a little bit.
My bad seat. Shut up.
Why is he called Waterboy?
What's that?
Why is he called Waterboy? There's got to be a story. I'm afraid I'm.
Well, he owns a water company in Florida, big time. He's a big time, and then we couldn't think of a name when he's on my show, so we says, "How about Waterboy?" Because people don't know about his business. And they just thought I told people he just got us water when we were thirsty. That's all.
Okay.
So he ended up being Waterboy
of the movie.
When I joined the show, it's like the #1 movie.
Yeah, and Bill Kinnison used to call him Waterboy Head. That's what Bill Kinnison used to call him, Waterboy Head. Remember that, or Waterhead Boy or something?
I don't think that you are portraying what you think you're trying to portray there, Sam.
Why? What do you mean? Being naked?
No, Waterboy Head.
Oh, well, no, I mean,
no.
I didn't make that up.
That's something that you're trying to, no, I don't think that's what you're
I apologize, Al.
Well, I forget what he used to call him, but it was something like that.
I told you, Al, this show gets a little crazy, and now you actually have a little experience on what it does. And it's probably just because we have lag and stuff too, so it's not like not everybody has the perfect connection, which hopefully certain people will work on that, in the future. But for right now, anyway, it's all.
No, I'm sorry, Frankie. It's not connection issues. It's Mama T being completely inappropriate.
Oh, you're fine. I'm just saying, and you can stump Al all you want, but he's here. He's our guest, so we want to treat him with the utmost respect and.
Nah, you don't have to do that.
Oh yeah, we do. We
Ask
got
me a
to.
question about Led Zeppelin.
Hey, tell him, Al, that's boring, ain't it?
Well, I mean,
does Dean actually speak? Does Waterboy speak?
Sometimes.
I speak, Waterboy, speak.
The Zoom has kind of like a delay, so I'm trying to figure out. That's still working on the timing.
Okay.
I don't want
worry.
to cut anybody off, but I don't know how to call in. I'm not cutting you off.
I
So you want
thought
me to ask you a trivia
kind of an
question about
AI-generated-
late 70s music, pop?
You're like skipping all over the place, Waterboy.
Yeah, I'd probably work on your connection there to come back.
Lost my audio.
I think the
Lost my
fucker's
audio.
drunk.
Can you hear me?
Well, yeah, you slow down, you'll sound like you're drunk.
just got off the
Oh,
I
Anyway.
just got off the road.
Okay, well, I would probably just say work on like restart your computer or something, and then come back.
Maybe you should hop in your car, drive down the street.
It's working for me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you don't have as bad a leg. So Waterboy, I'm just gonna
Hey, that was funny.
kick you for now. Restart your computer, then come back if you want.
Just make sure
Might
that
be
you
another-
got your phone set up properly in your dashboard, or it's gonna fall on the floor and you're gonna look like an idiot when you have to pick it up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Is that what
anyway.
happened? She hit a bump.
That's
Oh, yeah,
a big bump, a big bump. So, now that, because I kind of feel like, in a way, this is kind of like a cross promotion type of thing, now that you had me on your show, and now I got you on my show, or our show or whatever, and, it's kind of nice, so it's, that kind of worked out, that you had some free time to spare today, even though you are a
I
busy
don't have
guy.
free time, but I'll do it for you.
Oh, well,
That's awesome.
Like when I'm
That's
done here,
awesome.
I go back to the station after I'm done here.
Oh,
That's
sure.
awesome, dude.
That's
Thank
okay,
you.
man. That's my natural habitat. I did want to tell, oh, for goodness sake, it just says iPhone. The lovely woman in her car that lives in her car. What's your name?
Mama T.
Yes. Okay, I did want to tell you a story about Don Hawk. You just came up with that out of the blue. Now, that is my biological father. Okay, so I'm adopted. And my father has this joke. He says, there's towns in North Dakota where the population never changes. Because whenever a girl gets pregnant, some guy goes to California. And that's basically our story.
Oh, it was like
Basically our
one of the
story.
first, I think it was the first show or the second show. They were talking about bringing hillbillies on the show. They were going to bring hillbillies on the show and, make it interesting. I was like, oh, you were going to bring some of my relatives on the show? What? And I don't think I got the joke then, but I think maybe now they do.
Yeah.
It's
No.
not as
They live in their trucks instead of their car.
Yeah. And they're big old semi trucks too. They go honk honk. When you're,
Next week, I'm going to bring the hillbilly guy on to start the show off, and then I'll take over after he's done.
yeah, absolutely,
Yes.
absolutely.
So I wanted to tell Mama though about my dear old dad. So
Sure, absolutely.
Right. And he's a very charismatic cat. And one of the most interesting things that he did in his life was he worked for the chicken ranch. You know what the chicken ranch is?
That's not Tyson, is it?
No. The chicken ranch, Screaming Sam, you don't know what the chicken ranch is?
No.
Frankie Slauson, you do not know what the chicken ranch is.
Is it a strip club? I mean, I don't know. Sounds like that.
A little juicier than that.
That's what I was doing for talking to Sam.
The chicken ranch is the largest legal brothel in the United States. And it goes back in history over 100 years. There used to be a time in the Depression era where you could bring a chicken into the chicken ranch and get laid, right? You could trade a chicken or some eggs and get laid. So that's how the whole thing, and they
Wait. You're getting later than the eggs are getting. I'm confused.
Well, these days you can't get laid for a chicken, but it
Costs more than a chicken to get laid nowadays.
It was in Texas for the longest time. So the ZZ Top song LaGrange, right?
Okay, I love that song.
Yeah.
And if you're driving down Minnesota, you even see the sign LaGrange.
But they made prostitution illegal in Texas in 1971, so they had to move the chicken ranch to Pahrump, Nevada, where it operates today. Pahrump, Nevada, about 45 minutes from Las Vegas, because technically prostitution is not legal in Las Vegas County. You got to go to the adjacent county, and that's right over the county line in Pahrump, Nevada. So the famous ZZ Top song LaGrange is about the chicken ranch, and also the wonderful musical starring Dolly Parton and Burt Reynolds, The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas.
Whoa!
Chicken Ranch. And my dear old dad was the marketing director of the chicken ranch, and he made sure the girls got elliptical machines and tanning beds.
Wow.
Really?
I'm not kidding. Yeah, so I never went there when he was working for them because it's just not my jam, But I got to know some of the girls, and some of these women made $300,000-$400,000 a year. There was one woman that flew in from Munich to do her 3-week shift. A lot of other girls came up from Los Angeles, where they were aspiring actresses, and of course Las Vegas showgirls. And if they played the game right, it was almost like a professional athlete. Put in your 10 years, retire with a bundle of cash. You can still.
Wow.
That's wrong.
That is something.
I like that story.
It's a sign of
All right.
all
Never
that
heard of that
we didn't know. That's cool. I mean, it must make you proud of her.
Got the air for 60 days.
Hold on, I might have a picture of that too. I didn't really plan for that story to come up. Hold on, I think I got it in the other room.
Okay,
Hey, Waterboy said he needs in.
I'll say resend him the link here.
Tell him to be
Hopefully-
dressed this time.
Well, I'm sure he's dressed. So that was kind of surprised that he did that.
That was funny. I don't care anybody says that was funny.
Okay, so
Okay, you got kicked off
here's a
you
brochure
got kicked off the 30
of the
days.
chicken
or
ranch.
60 days?
You see the woman's legs sticking out of the chicken
That
egg,
is awesome.
Yes.
right? World famous chicken ranch. This
Wow.
one happens to be, you might be able to see the font. Yeah, you can see it on the front too. This is the Japanese friendly version, right? Because they have visitors from all over the world. So this one happens to be a Japanese version of the menu, right? That they have all the different dishes
Oh,
inside.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Jeez.
Hey, someone wrote down, I believe that's how Dennis Hoffman got his name for his place. Does anybody know anything about that?
What's his place called?
I don't know, but that's what they
Yeah.
wrote down.
Hmm.
It's like the Bunny Ranchers. I don't know.
Oh, that is a competing brothel. There's the Chicken Ranch and the Bunny Ranch, and then there used to be the Mustang Ranch.
Okay.
Now again, this is my father, so I didn't have to take ownership of him. All he did was knock up my mother and split. You know, different lines, you know. So I'm not really a Chicken Ranch guy, but I think it is fascinating. Everybody's interested in it.
I want to go there once to see it.
I suppose once he met you, I really got to know you as a person, that, you know, he was pretty impressed with all the stuff that you accomplished in your life, I'm sure.
Yeah, how old were you when you actually got to know your real dad?
30. Yeah. So I was
Yeah.
a fully formed adult by that time, but it was a fascinating reunion because basically he has my voice. That's where the voice came from. Whatever I do verbally, the voice and the words, the storytelling, it all came out of my dad's dick.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Edgy comedy with Al Neff here.
You said, Frankie, we could kind of do what we wanted. I can't.
Yeah, I
that
did.
story on my radio station.
I love this guy.
My grandma passed away last November. My mom passed away like 2 years ago. But my grandma, there was a reunion at some point where my grandma was just sitting there quietly watching all of the children, the grandchildren, the great grandchildren gather together and have fun together, and they were all just loving each other, and she just sat there and smiled. She didn't say anything. Finally I was like, Grandma, why are you so quiet? And she just like starts giggling, and I'm like, what is so funny? She's like, I just realized if I hadn't had like hots for your grandpa, this wouldn't be happening right now. Oh, that is so good.
Well, I mean, hey, I guess
But,
everything
you know,
happens for a reason.
obviously you see where I got my sense of humor from.
Oh yeah, it's there. It's definitely there.
There was an ad campaign for Old Spice. You know, I sometimes I wear Old Spice cologne, and they have a little caption on the bottle that says, "If your grandpa didn't wear it, you might not exist."
It's right. That's the truth. I used to use that back in the day.
Yeah.
I use
That's
that
good
currently. Maybe I'm just part of the old crew now, just because I use Old Spice. Maybe, huh? Is that
Dude,
what
that
it
was
is?
before your time, probably.
Old Spice.
Well,
I didn't use Old Spice.
I'm 25 years older than you, Sean.
Well, I use Old Spice. I've used Brute before too. Yeah.
I use Obsession.
I don't want to take over the whole fucking interview here, but I do have another question for you. Did you seriously propose during a Metallica concert?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely. Yes, my former wife Jackie. We were married for 14 years. We were together for 23 years. Once I got back into radio, that was enough. Then she split. But we had a good run, and I definitely proposed to her at the Summer Sanitarium tour. Metallica was on stage at Mile High Stadium in Denver, And after Enter Sandman, I looked over at her like while the song was going on, and her hair was flying, and I was like, she's the one. That's it right there. And so I proposed to her after Enter Sandman, and she said yes and gave me a hug, and fireworks went off because that was the end of the concert. It was so beautiful. It was just like Love American style. If you're old enough.
Sorry, boys, I had to throw in a romantic moment towards in the show. I had, because I had heard this and I was like, all right, funny is funny, but romance has its position in every show.
Absolutely. Well, it depends on what position you like.
Wow.
That is true. Absolutely.
Come on, Frankie, did you even know that?
No, I didn't know that. I mean, because I, basically just always ask Al the basic questions. I mean, I did my research too. But like, you really are digging in deep, and that's great. I mean, that's.
Mama does her homework.
I mean, A+ for that. Yeah, I'm serious.
I told you I did my homework.
I was a little worried a little bit in the beginning, but then it's like we got something here now. I mean, you definitely know what you're doing. So it's just a stupid lag that just kind of kills everybody.
I know.
But other than that, it's all right.
I tell these boys, I am very mechanically inclined. I am not technologically inclined whatsoever. That's why I am in my car down the street, if you haven't figured that out.
I think it's charming. It's better that way. You should always broadcast or podcast from your car. It's better.
Especially the little city of McIntosh.
No, I would much rather do it from my living room. My living room is way cooler than my car. I mean, okay. No, actually, my living room is pretty cool, but my car is actually a 2010 Crown Vic Interceptor. It's a decommissioned cop car.
Even better, it's sexy.
I really love my car.
What if some of those dingle balls like cheap?
I blew the rear seal though, so I don't go further than 5 miles in it. Because otherwise, that one warning light that you never want to go on is going to come on, and I don't want it to come on. It's that one where you drive for too long in the hub turns a bright red.
I'm lost.
You ever have that happen?
No.
You don't want that to happen. You do
I got
not want
PC
that.
Cruiser.
That's actually the bearing.
You blow your
The bearing's bad.
And the rear axle like wants to melt together.
Right. That's the bearings that go bad.
You don't want your that's not good.
Well, it's a good thing you can get Wi-Fi within a 5-mile range, and
I do this newsletter.
Actually, she's at the garage. They're working on it.
Back this newsletter, I advertise all the local businesses for free. And thank God I do that, because shout out to Jared's Grocery and McIntosh, Minnesota, because he's letting me use his Wi-Fi right now.
Or does he really know?
Waterboy said you haven't blocked us, Ron.
What?
Waterboy said you haven't blocked.
I don't have anybody blocked at all. I just removed him from the conversation just so he could restart his computer and come back. That's all. So nobody's got blocked.
So this is what I'm talking about.
Yeah, Al, did you get a chance to see that newsletter that I posted last week before we were doing our calls and everything?
I'm afraid I didn't do my research. I'm ashamed now, but I didn't do my.
Well, she does a newsletter called the Little Bobby Buzz, because Little Bobby is our friend. I went to school with him at Northland and at KSRQ, and he does a blues. He's a blues musician, and I was hoping that he was going to come on here tonight, but he must be. Is he gone? Tiger or Robert?
We have no employees, right? No.
Yeah.
That work with bar besides me and Bobby.
Yeah.
That's why you never see us on screen together, because we're the same person.
Well, I mean, if he ever.
No, he's working the bar.
Okay. Because I was hoping that he could meet Al because he Bob remembers the Into the Music series too, because still I'm sure they still use it on KSRQ. I'm pretty sure. I don't listen to it too much anymore as far as Pioneer 9 for one, because it's all the same hyped up people that shouldn't be hyped up. You know, that's what my hatred is towards that station now. It's just like, it's not because I'm not happy that I was a part of it, because I am, but I was one of those people that felt like, you know, I deserved a little bit of a push to be on daytime rather than be late at night where nobody was going to listen. I try to put together a nice show, kind of like this in a way, but like with music and whatever, and like do a lot of work on it, and then all of a sudden nobody tunes in, and or I don't get no feedback or nothing, and you know, it kind of bothered me a lot. And every time I try to ask Mark, you know, the station manager, he just he's like,
I'll be right
nothing
back.
for you. So it's like,
Real quick, I'll be right back.
okay.
What are you gonna do? Go potty?
Potty, Al, come on now.
Oh, she just dropped the phone. There's the brake pedal.
There's the
You see the
iPhone.
break-
That's who runs the bar, drive right through it or whatever. No, Al. I mean, I was Mama Tia. She's new to our show, and she is kind of like how I used to be in the early days of interviewing. I'd be so excited to have guests on. Not that I'm not excited to have you on, because I am. It's awesome. But
Yeah.
like, she's excited, dude.
The lights on.
Huh? Anyway, so she's excited like how I used to be. And I, you know, a lot of times I would fumble up on my words, or I would be like, you know, so super excited. I'd ask, you know, I would let the person finish talking, you know, I'd always cut them off. Like it's kind of a bad habit, but you get better obviously with time, obviously. Like we were
Well,
talking about.
that's why sometimes you have more people. It's a little harder because everybody wants to chime in at one time.
I know you did.
But as I can see on my thing, whoever
They're not
talks, the
open,
green
right?
light comes on.
Sure. Oh yeah. That's the thing about what's cool about Zoom about that. It's like you can it'll highlight who's talking.
Right.
The green light. So that's kind of nice. So Al, you should let these guys know about like kind of where you like your background a little bit, other than you know what we've already heard
Love to
about
hear
you.
it.
Because I mean, that's kind of why I wanted you on, because I wanted these guys to get to know some cool people that I know. And you're definitely on the list of cool people that I know. And your story is amazing as it is. But tell them how you got into the radio world, or why you love music so much.
Well, I grew up mostly in Wyoming and Montana. My dad was in the oil field. Mostly I grew up in trailer courts, you know, and we moved every year. By the time I was 18, we moved 17 times. So I was always the new kid in class, and I was kind of a skinny, brainy kid in Wyoming. That's a bad combination. And then my dad got me a fucking accordion. I had to play the accordion. I mean, he's a good guy, but he was a good guy, but he just didn't understand you can't be cool with an accordion in Wyoming in a trailer park. So I had to do that for a while. But radio was always my imagination escape. I would listen, especially late at night, to radio stations around the country and try to find cool songs and cool DJs. And this was in the 70s. There was a lot of that going on. So I was always attracted to radio, and you know, had the dream that maybe I could do it someday. And then I happened to be, because of my father's ejaculation, I happen to have this voice and a way with words. At least that's so I got into radio, and I've always been kind of a person interested in history. So I became interested in how groups evolved, and that's where the Into the Music comes in. And I think this is an especially entertaining story. I think that my life's work, the thing that I'm proudest of that I've accomplished in my life, the Into the Music series, happened because I was caught drinking on the air. Okay, so I'm working for KVSC, the campus station at St. Cloud State University. The voice of St. Cloud, 88.1 FM. And my girlfriend at the time was at a party, a company party, and she ripped off a bottle of champagne and those little plastic glasses that you have to assemble yourself, you know, put the top on. So she comes to the station, I'm on the air, she has a bottle of champagne, I'm sipping champagne from a plastic glass, and here comes security, and I get busted.
Oh,
They took our champagne away and then reported it to the station manager. So it turned out that I actually had a recording of that show. I could prove that I was not intoxicated because I wasn't. But he's like, yeah, but you know, it's a no alcohol campus out. We got to suspend you for 60 days. So the idea came up, well, could he do a pre-recorded show? And the manager was like, yeah, sure, why not? So that's how Into the Music started. We had a reel-to-reel deck. We just put on a long tape. I'd write some stuff out on the group, and then the guy would point to me, and I'd start reading, and then he'd play a song, and we just, so it was very crude beginnings to the Into the Music series. But now that has been refined over the years, and that's really the thing that I'd like to be remembered for. And I just happened to notice, I have a picture of my girlfriend at that time who brought the champagne to the radio station. Her name was Annette, and I happen to have a picture of her right here. Here it is.
Oh, nice.
Wow.
Now we're on a Screaming Sam show, folks.
Oh yeah.
God bless her.
That's right. Oh yeah.
She didn't come to the station like that. That's not a picture from that night. That was when we lived together.
Sure.
And I'm going to have lunch with her mother. Her mother, Dolores, is still my friend. Unfortunately, we lost Annette 13 years ago to breast cancer. But I'm still great friends with her whole family, including her husband, and their and I'm going to have lunch with her mom, Dolores, who's 82 now, later this week.
Oh, wow, that's cool.
Time that defined what I felt I could do especially well. That's what led to Into the Music, which ultimately led me to know Frankie and be here with you all tonight.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
awesome.
our story is pretty amazing as it is. I mean, it's like, I just always loved that Into the Music series. I mean, there was just something about it. And as I was telling the crew before you got in here, I don't know if you heard the commentary or whatever, but I said, how a lot of people like talk about like how they want to hear like Morgan Freeman, how he has such a good voice and everything, how he can narrate stuff and whatever. Well, I'm just like, fuck Morgan Freeman. I'd rather have Al Neff be my GPS or read me a story or whatever, rather than Morgan Freeman. So yeah, you just have that unique voice that you're, that hopefully that, I mean, I don't know if you ever had kids or whatever, but I mean, if you did, then it's like pass it on to them. But
Okay, thank you, Sam. If I had one that was going to narrate my life, who would it be?
Oh, it'd be Debbie Moore. That's right. Yeah, that's right. We always want more Debbie. I pay attention. I remember. Yeah, of course.
I don't. That's why I asked. Oh.
Oh, well, that's that. We remember.
That's the worst. That's the worst thing about the fibro fog with fibromyalgia. You get this fibro fog. You space things out. And getting older. I don't like you like you're trying to focus on something somebody's saying and your brain doesn't work. But I think it's funny because people are like, oh, I'm sorry, I wasn't paying attention. That's okay. I wasn't paying attention either. I know it was me that was talking.
It just all depends on how much coffee you've had in your drink. Have you had any coffee at all?
I have. But
hey, Mama T.
People pay more attention to me when I'm drinking coffee than when I'm drinking out of a red Solo cup.
Sure.
Hey, Mama T. Do you have a big spotlight on the inside the car on the top there? You have a big spotlight like the police cars have?
I know what you're looking for, honey. Hold on.
This is where the Wi-Fi goes out.
Oh, not that spotlight.
I hope not.
Don't you have an inside spotlight too? An interior light? It's real big.
Well, I don't know how to switch the camera around, so.
There it is.
Looking for.
There's the spotlight. Yeah. Now
Wow.
inside you have a big light too.
There's actually no. Okay, no, that's just the center light.
Yeah, don't look at that thing.
Right here. This is
Pretty
this
bright.
Remember back in the day, you pressed it. They had it on the TV shows. They're trying to sell them. You press them. That's what they look like. It's like a big dome.
The way this light works is, I'm pretty sure that the cops like took this light and so that they could see IDs or whatever.
Yes, yes.
Because this light is one of those like stupid lights where you can have it in any car or any closet or whatever. But
Yeah, there's lights. Yeah.
But you can't really see anything defined. You have to poke a hole in it and you can like literally see where they cut the lines in it and pressed it in
to snap the plastic
Yeah.
so that the light would shine down right on the ID. If you turn this light on, you can like have a rectangular piece and the entire thing will be lit up and nothing around it will be. It was very planned where the cutouts on this are.
Yeah, that's what I had 3 or 4 of those cars.
I want one. Do you have any rear seals?
Huh?
Okay. Well, anyway, Al, we appreciate really having you on.
Hey, Al, you're a funny man.
Honestly, man,
You'd be good for part of our show too.
Yeah, I wish if you did, I mean, obviously, like you said, you're doing it for me, but
You're like a reoccurring guest.
Yeah.
One more really great story for you. I'm just looking around, like some of the stuff I have in my home office here. So this is a place in Amsterdam called Mike's Bike Tours. And so I have a friend who I knew from years and years ago here in St. Cloud, and he started a bike company in Amsterdam. And there was a time when I went to Amsterdam, and back then, cannabis products were not legal at all. And I got some hashish, and I dug out the bottom of my pit stick, and I put it in there, and I smuggled some hashish back into England where I was living at the time. Okay.
Yeah.
I was living in the second largest inhabited castle in the world. You can look this up. It's called Alnwick Castle, Alnwick. Do your research on that. Alnwick.
I'll do my homework.
Okay. So this later became quite a famous place because they used it as the setting for Hogwarts in the Harry Potter films. So the wizard school, right? I actually went to school at what became Hogwarts for those films. So yeah.
That's so cool.
Look it up.
That's awesome.
So like the rest of your life is way cooler than that, but that's a very cool fact for like.
I told you, Al's amazing. I mean, he's one of those friends that you want to have with you, when the zombie apocalypse comes or whatever.
Zombie apocalypse.
Okay.
You talk about the zombie apocalypse. I'm telling you, they better be the Walking Dead zombies and not the SeaWorld zombies.
Nice.
I can't run that fast.
I see that. Awesome. That is awesome.
The bridge with the lion and then the castles.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
So yeah.
That's right where the tree is, where the car got caught, right? Right?
Maybe.
Where the car got caught in the tree.
You're talking about in the film?
Yeah.
I don't know that specific part. I'm not.
Yes, that's the tree.
This just made me cool with 12-year-olds for a long time.
Well, it's cool with us, say.
That's
for sure.
You want to brag about.
Okay, so it's a nice day. It had been really, really. It was a cold, rainy spring when I was living there. It was a student exchange program, right? So it was through St. Cloud State University. That's why I was there, 1986. And so I wanted to, it was finally a nice day, and I was running short on time after class. There was only so much daylight left, and I wanted to go smoke some of my hash and write a letter to my girlfriend. Remember my girlfriend, Annette?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I wanted to write a letter to that girl. And
Wait, your girlfriend, Annette, who is that again? Show me again.
There's Annette.
Yeah, we see.
He was lovely.
Annette is awesome.
So that was my plan.
I'm sorry.
And I went down by the river to the place where I typically would go if I wanted some solitude time, and somebody was there. It was in my spot. So I was very frustrated because the sun was going down. I only had so much time. So I'm looking around for where I can be, and I spotted this really fantastic patch of sunshine, but it was over in, I had to climb a fence, a tall fence with pointy things on top. So it was kind of dangerous, but I was athletic enough to do it. So I threw my notebook through and I climbed the fence and I went to that sunny place, and I was sitting there and I took out my hash, had a little pipe, and I took a couple of hits, and it was perfect. And I could see the castle off in the distance, and it was just a beautiful. And then I sensed that someone was there. So I looked and there was this elderly gentleman that was walking toward me. Now so I blew out the smoke and I tucked the pipe away and he comes over to me and I'm like, hi. And he says, hi. And I says, is it okay that I'm here? And he's like, well, it looks like you're here now anyway, doesn't it? You must be one of the students from the castle. I said, yeah. He's like, how do you like it? I said, I love it. It's great. Blah, 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 this and that. And he's like, how about your travels? Where have you been? I said, well, I went to Paris. I went to Amsterdam. I went to Munich. And then I even went to Greece on my last trip. And he's like, fantastic. And how do you like Anik, the town of Anik? And I said, the people are really nice. And I love going to the Dirty Bottles. That's my favorite pub. He's like, oh, yes, I like the Dirty Bottles too. He says, is there anything you don't like about Anik? And I says, well, honestly, it rains a lot here. That's why I wanted to come out and enjoy the sunshine today. He's like, yes, we get a lot of rain in Anik. We get, on average, 39 inches of rainfall here every year. And so I said to him, oh, well, you must be from Anik then. He's like, oh, yes, I'm from Anik. And he says, I live over there. And he points with his cane, points at the castle. He says, I'm your landlord. So this guy that I was talking to was the Duke of Northumberland.
No way.
Oh my God.
The Duke of Northumberland. So in the aristocratic, the aristocrat. Why can't I say this word? He's part of the royal family. His ancestors, the Percy family, were written about by Shakespeare in the 1500s, right? It's one of the longest running royal families of the Western world. And I'm sitting there talking to this guy after smoking hash on his property where I was trespassing. But he was really cool about it. So after the conversation, he just says, well, enjoy your day. And so that night I felt compelled to write him a letter. So I wrote like, your grace is what we were told to address him, not your majesty, right? As opposed to like, dear Duke. And so I wrote a letter and I apologized for trespassing on his property and said how much I enjoyed the conversation. I said, I'm glad I didn't let the fence stop me, because if I would have, I never would have had the experience of meeting you. So then I sent the letter off, not thinking he'd ever really get it, but he did. And so a few weeks later, I came back down I was going to the breakfast hall and all the professors were there and they said, Alan, wonderful job, way to go. And I'm like, what? And they're like, your letter to the Duke, he loved it. I'm like, oh, wow, that's cool.
That's awesome.
You know about it.
That letter. See, he extended the lease on the castle. I had no idea, but the lease was coming up. It was only a 5-year lease on the program. And because of the conversation with me, he said, well, if that's an example of the students at St. Cloud State University, then St. Cloud State always has a home at my castle. And sure enough, still today, people from St. Cloud State University get to go and live in the castle.
That's
I love
awesome.
that story. That's a great story.
Good job.
Wow. Geez, an accomplishment for sure.
It's so good. You would think that would be it. That's a cool story in itself. Then I decided when I came back to the United States, I got my master's degree, and then it was my turn to graduate, but I didn't go through the ceremony, but I went to the ceremony, and it was the Duke's agent, like his right-hand man, that was giving the commencement address. So he pulled out my letter and he read that part, about I'm glad I didn't let the fence stop me. He said, did you hear that? He didn't let the fence stop him, right? And that became the centerpiece of his keynote speak about whatever it is in life, whether it's money or time or whatever, don't let the fence stop you.
Wow.
So that's pretty cool too.
Nice.
Now, when I was coming down the home stretch of my time in England, I went jogging. I'm a runner. Not so much anymore, but I run 10 marathons. And it was when I was in England that I got seriously into running. And there was a beautiful route that I had. And I'd always wanted to go to this, like an abbey, because it had lots of cool sheep and there was flowers. And I just wanted to stop in there. So I stopped in one day because it was going to be one of my last chances. Well, there happened to be a woman there who was tending the flowers. She had a watering can and everything. And I go down there. I didn't know she was there at first. And she comes out and she says, hi. You must be one of the students from the castle. I said, yeah. And she says, well, what's been an interesting experience you've had? And I said, well, actually, recently I met the Duke. And I didn't tell her the part about smoking hash. She says, oh, I know the Duke and his family quite well because I was their nanny, right? So she helped to raise the Duke's children. And so she's like, well, how did you meet him? And I talked about, this whole thing, except for the hash. And then I said, so up comes this older gentleman and he's walking with a cane and smoking a pipe. And she said, he was smoking a pipe? And I said, yeah, he was smoking a pipe. She's like, oh, I get it. You see, he's not supposed to be smoking. The Duchess won't let him smoke in the castle. So you see, the Duke and I were out there sneaking to smoke. Same thing. Both of us in the park sneaking to smoke on a nice day. It's all back at the same level. It's okay. So then this is the final chapter of the story. I went back to the castle for the 25th anniversary of the program. So 20 years later. Well, it ended up that we had this woman who took us in because the castle was full. So many people wanted to come back that there were no rooms available in the castle. So, and my home state parents were out of the country. So I stayed with this woman named Susie, who was part of the aristocracy of that area, the lower level. So she knew the Duke quite well. So I was telling her this story, and I talked to her about the woman I met whose name was Margaret. And she says, oh, Margaret, I know Margaret. She says, the Duke's mistress. I was like, what? Right? I said, Duke's nanny. He's like, oh, yes, yes. But she was the Duke's mistress as well. So when I met the Duke, he was probably 70, 72. When I met Margaret, she was probably 45, 50. Right? So you can do the math. When the Duke was 45, she was 20. And she was the nanny. And she was also his mistress. And they even have a child together. Margaret and the Duke. So you see,
Man, you know, all of those
hold
old,
on, hold on.
all of them.
Hold
If
on.
you go back to any of
Oh,
those,
that's
yeah,
right.
all of them.
But here's my final statement.
United States history, like
Oh,
how
yes, yes, yes.
Black mistresses, the
Yeah.
founding
Here's
fathers.
my final statement to you. Are you listening?
Yeah.
Hold on now. He didn't let the fence stop him.
That's a good one.
Yes.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's a good story. I've never heard that one
I
before.
love
I
that
don't think you've
story.
ever told me that before.
That's the best story I ever heard on the show yet.
I've never heard.
Thanks.
I will honestly say that is absolutely the best story I've ever heard on a podcast.
Thank you. That really
One that I've been involved in.
That was awesome.
I feel that that was a God-given kind of a story. I was meant to be there that day.
Yep.
So,
That was an awesome story.
thank you.
You got some
Absolutely.
awesome stories. I'll let you know that.
Yeah, Al's an interesting guy. He definitely. I wasn't kidding.
Yep.
I like the kid a lot, but I'm not kidding about Al. He's a real deal.
Al's a real deal, man.
It definitely is. So Al, for those that still don't know much about you after you've been on the show and know our history and all that stuff, how can people find you? I mean, if they want to know more about you.
Oh gosh, I'm not very good at self-promotion. I do have
one has some help
page for Into the Music, and you can find me through like what I do day to day. Just Google WXYG the Goat. That's the radio station I program. I'm looking for like a goat sticker.
Oh, cool.
Enough, I don't have it, but it's a deep
the goat
WXYG.org. It's not .org. It's a commercial station, so it would be WXYGtheGoat.com. And there's also a Facebook page. And it goes much more deeply into the era of music that is usually called classic rock. We call it album rock. So between 1964, the arrival of the Beatles in the United States, and the early 80s, and the beginning of MTV, I noticed your shirt, Frankie. That and messed up the type of music that I love. Anyway, about 15 to 17 years, we go much more deeply into that era of music than any other station in the world. So we rotate about 4,000 songs. So when Frankie came in for his guest DJ program, he actually picked some stuff we didn't have in our system, but now we do. And that's one of the coolest things about the guest DJ show. We continually use that as a way to grow our library. And anyone can be a Go Guest DJ. How do they do it, Frankie?
Well, you got to send Al either a letter to where the station is located in Sauk Rapids, or, well, if you send him a letter, you want to make sure you do 25 songs that, or at least pick 25 songs that you feel represents you as a person in that type of era of music or genre or whatever. Right. And, at first I was a little confused that, because even though, I've listened to the Goat many times, I just assumed when you said that I could pick any song that I wanted. That's why originally I had like all these songs that you're like, oh, wait a minute here. We can't play that. We can't play that. And they're all good songs. Like I like Joe Bonamassa and all that stuff. I mean, that stuff,
Oh yeah, I love Joe
know?
Bonamassa. He just doesn't come from that era.
Yeah.
I
So
love Bonamassa.
once I figured out what you're trying to get at and everything, then I put to it, I did, came up with a better list and everything. That's why it took me a little while to figure out what do I want? What will be Al approved, we'll just say.
That's
Not
awesome.
so much about me or what I approve, because I approve just about anything. But what would be good for you, because you're the host, it's your show, So
Well, it's your show, but it's got to fit within the format. So that Madonna shit's got to go, Frankie.
God, wow, that's what people are still thinking about me.
But I see for Al, like what represents Al to me from all the homework I did is the Highway 61 stuff.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So
I mean, everybody. Yeah.
So here's like historically,
Elvis's death, Buddy Holly, and Chuck Berry and Jerry Lee Lewis and all that shit that went down back then. That to me, that's what you represent. From the homework.
Here's the mythology of Highway
wasn't
61. I think this is historically fascinating. People always think about Route 66. That goes east and west from Chicago to Los Angeles. And that's there's a beautiful story there too. But Highway 61,
even numbers go east and west, but odd numbers.
Okay, yes.
South, right?
Highway 61 is literally the spine of the United States going north and south, essentially along the Mississippi River. And that was the highway that carried Southern Black people to the northern industrial centers after World War II. So the Delta Blues of Robert Johnson came north and became the Chicago electrified blues of Muddy Waters and John Lee Hooker and Willie Dixon. Some of that happened in Memphis, Chicago. Well, he was Texas, but it was descended from the same source. But Highway 61 literally is the musical highway of the United States. The story of the evolution of music echoes that highway. And of course, the Southern Black people came to the northern industrial centers like Chicago. They had to make it louder. So they had to electrify it because they were playing to bigger places. And there's an old saying that says the blues had a baby and they named it rock and roll, right? And that's basically the story of how it happened. And Highway 61 was integral to people dispersing through the central United States and going to places like Detroit, Motown Records, Chicago, Chess Records, Memphis, Sun Records, and Stax Volt Records. And
God. So I don't know if you're aware of why I'm connected with Frankie.
No.
Little Bobby.
I'm sorry, what?
I date Little Bobby. I've been friends with him almost 30 years. I've been dating him for about 2.5 years.
Okay.
He's my musician friend. I went to school with him at Northland, and he's the one that owns the bar in McIntosh where she's located.
Where I'm usually located, not in my bar.
Yeah. It's a nice bar. It's just, I've known Bob for, he tries to do live music and stuff every so often, and he knows a lot of people in the industry. I wish he could have met you and everything today on this interview, but I didn't know, they were strapped for people or whatever. So anyway,
that's the thing. We've got this bar here in McIntosh, Minnesota. It's called Little Bobby's Bar and Grill. If you go on Riff Music Report, you're going to see his albums. He's number 16 on the Blues Rock. He is his single Bad Girl, which is my favorite song of all time. Probably because of the line in the song that says you shake your booty it you ain't fair, I don't know. Anyway, this dude he's a great blues musician, and I've gone on a few road trips with him, and we have gone to Clarksdale where he used to live actually. but there's so many people that he knows from down there. And the trips we've gone to, I mean, you're gonna have to go to our website or one of our websites. We've got the bar website, which is the Little Bobby Bar and Grill, or Little Bobby.
I think it's Little Bobby Bar and
Sorry,
Grill.
I'm on the street and there's like all kinds of cars going by.
I can always send you the links to Al. I mean, it's not a big
Okay,
deal.
well, that would be the easiest. I wrote it down here. So that would be
Yeah, I'll send you all the info you need. I'll send you his Spotify page too. I don't know if you use Spotify or not, but you know, if
I
you
do not. I do not. It's not that I against it, but I honestly, just doing what I do, I have enough music in my life.
Sure.
No, you don't. You don't have Little Bobby in your blues repertoire. You do not have enough music.
Okay, fair enough. I'll take them one at a time.
That's right. That's right.
And that's
And he can be
not just me. So when I was just friends with him for 20 years, I was still proud to be his friend, and I was still proud to brag about, hey, dude, you got to listen to this guy's music. He's awesome.
Oh yeah.
Like Little Bobby.
Where is McIntosh, Minnesota?
Oh, that's not too far from Chief River.
It's basically halfway between Grand Forks, North Dakota, and Bemidji, Minnesota.
I see.
On
Highway 2.
Okay.
So it's like if you ever,
I will check it out.
You ever want to stop by, we'll get the night for real.
But we appreciate you, Al. Like I say, thanks for being on the show, and I don't want to take up any more of your time because, like I said, you're a busy guy, and I appreciate the fact that you're nice enough to do this for me. But
I appreciate it. It's great.
And for the crew,
I got to tell my Frank Zappa on the toilet story. That's weird.
Yeah, you get some good stories.
We got to hear some uncensored Al, which is great. That's
gave some good
wonderful.
stories, brother.
Thank you, Sam.
All right. Well, we appreciate you, man. And again, check out, for those who are interested, check out WXYG The Goat, because it's a good station. Deep tracks all the way, all the best music you can handle, and then some. I get to hear Al's voice all the time. It was great. And I even heard some of the commercials you did too, while listening to other, just not just the program that we did, but like throughout the day or whatever. And it's like, wow, you can do really good narrations of commercials and stuff, when you're doing or trying to sell it and all that, man.
Got to keep some gas in the car,
That's right. All right, man. Well, we appreciate you, and
thank you, sir.
See you next time, I guess.
Great to meet the two of you, and always good to see you, Frankie. And
another great guest.
I'm proud of you for keeping on, right?
Thank you. I'm proud of you too, man. You keep on doing your thing too.
Hope you come on again now.
All right, bye.
Nice.
All right.
Nice meeting you, but he ducked out, so.
Yeah, I just remove everybody now from now on after they're done, rather than just have them go out, because it's just easier. So maybe I probably forgot to unthing I didn't block Waterboy, just so you know, but I probably forgot to unclick the Facebook report deal or whatever, because everything was just happening all at one time, and I don't know, I didn't see that at all, but it's okay. He'll come back for next week, and it'll be fine. But Mama T, I tell you, so what do you think, Mama T? Now that you've had a chance to talk to Al and whatnot, I mean, other than the leg issue, what do you think? Pretty good?
So I'm gonna say, when I used to brag about Little Bobby being my friend. Like, I was like, you gotta listen to this guy's music because he's just like, like, I've been friends with him almost 30 years, and I've always been a great fan. Like, I could even tell you, like, when we first hooked up, I was like, he asked me one time, because back in the day I was his driver, and I used to drive him everywhere, because he's legally blind, he can't drive himself. And So when we hooked up 2.5 years ago, I was his driver again. I like to say I got my old job back. I got benefits this time. He says, can you, babe, can you grab that amp and throw it in the... No, babe, no, I ain't doing that. I'm a groupie, not a roadie. I'm gonna tell you, this guy, like the homework I did on this Al guy, man, I was like, he did what? He talked to who?
Yeah.
He what? What? That's this guy. No, this Al is fucking. He's fucking cool, man.
Yeah.
Am I allowed to say that twice in within?
You can say whatever you want. I mean, like I said, it's all about language, more or less, that we're trying to twist on a little bit, be more aggressive about a little bit, Sam, what do you think? What's your thoughts?
I thought he was awesome.
That toilet
awesome. He really was.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad, and I'm glad that you guys were here for this, because I don't know who we have next weekend. I mean, other than Wolfie, but I am going to have a backup guest just in case if Wolfie doesn't work out. But really try to bother him if you can, as much as you can.
Oh no, he said he's on. So
okay, well, some people say that, then it's like, because I had a guy who I was going to have on, and he said he would be on there, and then it's like, I forgot, and then we had to cancel.
Yep.
So always bother people if you can for a little bit anyway.
I told him I'll keep in touch with him.
Yeah.
At the very last second.
And then your guy, who your peer, I mean, we'll just have to figure something out. I mean, if he's too busy or if he got other things going on, and we just can't see, eye to eye on something.
Pierre, yeah, Pierre really wants to do it. Like anybody that's out there that is actually listening right now, they need to look up Pierre Lewis and the Lewis Connection.
Okay.
This guy, like, he's a really busy dude, and he's got gigs every Monday night.
Okay.
And apparently he's a big Twins fan, and they made playoffs.
Well, they are. They're doing way better than they used to do. So yeah.
Yep.
It's playoff time now. So yeah, man, nobody do better than the Vikings in here.
Is that still going on? What?
Yeah.
Vikings now. What's going on?
Okay. Well, we'll figure it all out. But
I don't know about sports.
Yeah, we'll figure it out. We'll figure out what we do.
I don't know what's going on.
If all goes to worse, we can always do a Renegade Radio exclusive, where we, it's not a show, but it's like an extra show. It's like like an extra filler, just for something,
Like we can pre-record something and just throw it in.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be live or anything. Oh, well, I mean, we can still go live. I'm trying to figure out how to put this on my group on the Sell Swap page.
Hey,
to piss a lot of people off, first of all, because there's so many people that get mad at me because of I post stuff on my own page that I own, the Sell Swap page that I created, and yet there's some people that get pissed off about that. I can't even promote my own good times happening. With almost 7,000 people,
Selling swap page.
Yeah. We would get a lot more viewers if I could figure out how to get it. If I can get it over there. So anyway, so I don't mean to cut everybody off or whatever, but I think we're good for today. I think we've done what we need to do. We'll save our jokes and everything for next week. And
okay,
I appreciate you guys.
I had a joke. I had it already.
Oh well, okay. Tell us your joke then.
All right, guy walks into a bar. Imagine that, it's a bar joke.
Guy
walks into a bar and he orders a Bud Light. And the bartender's like, okay, here's your Bud Light. The guy pulls a $100 bill out of his pocket and hands it over. He says, keep the change. And the bartender's like, are you sure this is a $100 bill? He's like, yeah, I'm sure. All right. Bartender sets the Bud Light on the bar. And all of a sudden, this dude who's like 10 inches tall comes over, kicks the bar off, kicks the bottle off the bar, goes on it lands on the floor, busts into a million pieces. Bartender and the guy are just looking at it like, the guy says, just give me another one. Hands him another $100 bill, tells him keep the change. All right. So bartender grabs him another Bud Light, sets it on the bar. This dude runs down the bar again, kicks it off the bar, lands on the floor in a million pieces. Guy's just like starts reaching in his pocket, and the bartender's like, what the hell's going on here? And the guy's like, well, you know. So a couple weeks ago, I was stranded on a desert island, and I actually came across a genie lamp. I know that's ridiculous, but I came across a genie lamp and I rubbed it, and I got 3 wishes. And of course, for my first wish, I was like, I wish I was back in civilization. The second wish I would have an endless supply of $100 bills in my pocket. And the bartender's like, oh, okay, well, I get that. What's with this dude? Yeah. I wished for a 10-inch dick.
Wow.
That was a good one.
All right. There you go. I mean, I think that's how we'll
That's your
decide it.
challenge for next week. Beat that one, guys.
Okay.
It's not hard to beat that dick, I tell you.
Adios.
It's gotta be a bit of a dick. Somebody that's gonna kick your beer off the counter.
All right, everybody, we appreciate you guys, and thanks again for watching another great edition of Renegade Radio with Frankie Slauson, Screaming Sam, and Mama T, and our special guest Al Neff from Into the Music and WXYG The Goat. And we'll see you next time for another great edition of Renegade Radio. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.